Okay, it's time for a malt liquor Medicare rant. If I drink this, it'll be amazing. I'm not a fan of Old English. And it's in a plastic bottle. Go me. So, anyway, I'm going to rant about Medicare. What a pain in the ass. My 88-year-old mother is diabetic, and she's on Medicare, like Part D and B or whatever. So anyway, getting diabetic test strips is a effing nightmare. You would think that I'm making pipe bombs with these things, or it'd be like plutonium for uranium for nuclear weapons. First off, we switched pharmacies and stuff because where we were getting them from before. Now check this out. The pharmacy here in town, we can sell you the tester and the lancets and all that stuff, where you have to do your blood. We can sell you that. We can't sell you the test strips because the insurance, this Medicare part, whatever the hell it is, does not cover the test strips. Okay, so either you're forced to go somewhere else or go to 2 different pharmacies to pick up the shit that you need. So anyway, we was going to the one pharmacy down in Jefferson City. It's a big name pharmacy. They probably got 4 or 5 of them in town. So we were going there. And every time I went there, it's like they had to run our insurance through again. Oh, we're missing the information. It has to be okayed from our corporate office and all this. And it's like, oh my God. I got so sick of that shit. Every month. And it's like, I'm not making methamphetamines out of diabetic test strips. So anyway. And we were having to make 2 stops because we get our medicine at a completely... What are you doing down there? Hold on, somebody's buzzing me. Okay, I'm back. Pardon the interruption. So anyway, we were getting our prescriptions from one pharmacy, and I was having to go to the other pharmacy to pick up Mom's test strips and shit. It's like, okay, this shit's getting real old, and we liked the pharmacy where we went to a lot better. So it's like, okay, I'm just going to transfer everything there and make it a lot easier. 1 trip, 1 stop, blah, blah, blah. So I do this. And everything is fine. I go through the first time and get her a brand new tester, which she really didn't need. But since the test strips were not the same as we had with the old tester, she gets a new testing machine and, a set of lancets and all that good stuff. Okay, fine. Next time go through, got the test strips, no problem, okay, fine. She starts running low. So anyway, I go to the pharmacy and call and stuff, and I said I need to pick up Mom's test strips. Oh, it hasn't been long enough. It has to be like 13, you're only like in day 13. It's like, okay. I wanted to get them ahead of time because I know last time we ran out. Oh, too soon. You can't get them. Too soon. Okay, fine. So then I wait until we're down to like 8 test strips. So then I call in the order, and that particular pharmacy, the West one, does not carry the test strips. They actually come from Southwest, but Southwest will bring them up to West for, it doesn't cost me anything or nothing. So they'll bring them up. Okay, fine. So then I get there tonight. It's like, do you have my mom's test strips? Stop it. Damn dog is biting. Do you have my mom's test strips? Oh, well, we need the logs. Logs? What logs? So, needless to say, I guess the pharmacist at Southwest wants her logs for her blood sugar, I guess, where we've been keeping track of it, which is probably a good thing. We've been writing it down this whole entire time. Okay, fine. I don't have them on me. I live 37 miles from where I'm trying to pick up these test strips. So I said, can I just buy them over the counter? Well, no, the insurance has already paid for them, which makes no sense because the insurance had already paid for them, the Medicare, but there wouldn't have been any reason that I couldn't buy them over the counter at Southwest, which I would have had to get up and move from the pharmacy that I was at to go to the other pharmacy. So, needless to say, I left without the test strips, talked to my nephew's wife, she actually is a pharmacist, and I guess they've had some problems with fraud, which, now get this, is fraud because I guess some of the pharmacies, the way I took it, were overcharging Medicare for the test strips and were making money off of it. Okay, so it's not the patient's fault that they're getting overcharged for the test strips. It's actually the pharmacy's fault that they're overcharging for them and frauding Medicare out of money. So the patient gets to jump through freaking hoops to try to get, stop it. It's just been one of those days. To try to get their test strips. It's like I say, I'm not making pipe bombs, I'm not making methamphetamines, I'm not making nuclear warheads with these things. It's freaking diabetic test strips. So I said, I have none for tonight, and my sister won't have any to test her in the morning. And Lindsay says, oh, you can buy them over the counter. Well, I kind of thought that, but it's like then when the pharmacy refused to sell them to me, I'm like, what the hell? So needless to say, I had to get a hold of my sister real quick to stop at a pharmacy, not the same pharmacy because that pharmacy doesn't carry the test strips anyway. Stop at the other pharmacy and pick them up, and she went in there and got them no problem. Now granted, now check this shit out. You can buy the testing machine over the counter, you know, to test your blood sugar. It's like $29. The test strips are like $80. So it's like they're, you know, oh, it's not that expensive, you know. Yeah, the little machine is not expensive. The freaking strips to stick in it are like $80 for a bottle of like 30. So needless to say, it has been one hellacious evening. So I had to go home, vacuum my mom's carpet and all that, and that's a whole nother story. We like completely cleared out the inside of her house, which took an entire week. And she kind of a hoarder, but not like I'm keeping trash and, you know, like empty food boxes, that kind of shit. She liked magazines and books. So, needless to say, a week of cleaning up the whole house and everything. We finally got it all cleaned out. So it looks nice now and stuff, but we're having to vacuum the floor every night because there was a pest problem. So anyway, not roaches or anything like that, no. So anyway, I was over there and stuff, so I got a hold of my sister, so then my sister stopped at the other pharmacy and got the test strips, no problem. So in the meantime, I had to take photos with my cell phone, thank goodness I had this, take photos with the cell phone and send them to my sister so she would know which test strips to actually get. And then I also had to take a picture of the calendar where we have actually been logging Mom's blood sugar levels, because I have to fax those to the pharmacy either tonight, because I actually do have a fax program on my computer. This isn't skunky like it usually is. So I'll be doing that tonight and trying to work up all these logs for her blood sugar. But needless to say, it's been a freaking nightmare. This whole Medicare thing is just a royal pain in the ass because some unscrupulous pharmacies decided to overcharge the patients. So basically the patient is getting punished for the dirty deeds of the pharmacies. It's kind of like the son dying for the sins of the father. So anyway, so that's what I'm going to be doing for probably the next 2 hours. And let's see if I can't use the fax program I have in here to fax the damn information to them. What a pain in the ass this has been. We had a fire evacuation at work today, so they had to run us all out of the building. So like 4,000 people out on the lawn of the Capitol is pretty interesting. So, needless to say, it's just been not a good evening. And I will say, I think these wide mouths are easier to drink than the little skinny mouths on the glass bottles. Still not mine. I would much rather prefer Cobra, but Walmart doesn't carry Cobra. King Cobra malt liquor. So, anyway, it's just a royal pain in the ass. And then it's like, there was another woman in there, and then she was some anti-seizure medicine for her daughter, I guess, or whatever, and the insurance company was throwing a fit about that and how many she could have or whatever. And then some other woman, I was standing there, I was talking to her about the Medicare being such a pain in the ass, and she says, yeah, tell me about it. She says, my father, I just put him on Medicare or whatever, and it's like now they're not wanting to pay for like half of his medicine. And this is all before, this whole thing is all before, you better not be biting, the Affordable Care Act went into effect or whatever. So the whole Medicare thing, I know there's fraud. The whole Medicare thing is a freaking mess. And it's like, you know, and the sad part about it is the people that are actually trying to be honest, like, I'm not going to do anything with my mother's test strips, for God's sake. The people that are being honest, the customers, are the ones that are actually paying for the crimes of the pharmacy. So, that's my rant for the evening. So we're having leftovers, so at least we don't have to worry about fixing supper. So I went out to my local Dollar General store and bought a little log book so we can write down all our blood sugar levels. We have been writing them down anyway, but it's on a big calendar and stuff, so I'm going to have to figure out some way to like squeeze it down so I can actually put it on a fax machine. Which I'm not real good with fax machines. It's like, if you want me to, you know, do crap on a computer, I can scoot around all over a computer, but when it comes to like fax machines, I'm about as dumb as a box of rocks. I just don't deal with them. I don't use them that often. And half the time or whatever, you sit and wait, and then the sheet comes through. Somebody sends you a fax at work. I'm sending it right now. It's like, yeah, I'm going to run right over to the machine. I'm going to stand right over the top of it, waiting to find it between the other 3,000 faxes that have just come in on the machine. And then they send you a blank sheet because they put it in there upside down. It's just been a shitty day. What can I say? It's just been a shitty day. And I paid $2.19 for a gallon of gas, filled up the car last night, and was driving out of town, and it was $2.09, so got fucked there too. So, needless to say, we just have one of those days, you know what I'm saying? Just one of them days. Oh, and then I went to the post office, was mailing a birthday card to a real good friend of ours. Her birthday's this weekend. And the post office lady was such a bitch. I mean, she was a bitch. Normally when I go into that post office, there's a woman in there, and the guys or whatever, and they're real nice and stuff, and normally they're very nice people, but I don't know from the bowels of hell where this woman came from and stuff, but God, she was a bitch. It's like, had the wrong zip code on there. Okay, my bad. Had the wrong zip code on there, but the whole time when I went up to the counter, it's like, well, this is the wrong zip code. Well, I said, well, I told her where the city was and where I was going to, and then, I mean, God. You just want to punch a little bitch's head off and but I digress. Anyway, did anybody watch The Walking Dead this weekend? Bloody. It was really bloody. And I'm trying to watch American Horror Story this year too. My God. My God. It's like, I expect American Horror Story to be a little, well, horror story. I mean, what does that tell you? But this shit's like bloody hell. Lady Gaga rolling around half naked in a pool of blood. Mm-hmm. Like, how about some storyline to go with this? You know what I'm saying? I like blood and gore as much as the next person because I love The Walking Dead. That's like my Sunday show. Don't call me while I'm watching The Walking Dead or you may be one of the next Walking Dead. But I like some storyline with my blood and gore, and this so far is like really pretty violent. I would say my favorite episode so far, and I'm getting off on a rant, but hey, you tuned in and you're watching the video, so out of the American Horror Story, I would say probably my favorite one was the Insane Asylum, where the nun was running the crazy house. I liked that one. That was one of the better ones, I think. So anyway, I don't know if I'll finish this off or not. So I'm just hoping to God that tomorrow is a better day, because today just pretty much blew. To run outside and stuff, it's like the fire thing when we had to evacuate the building would have been fine if it would have been like, 3 o'clock or something like that, but we get off work at like 4, and we had to evacuate the building at like 20 minutes till. So by the time you go out there and stand, and then they decide that it's clear and the 4,000 people that work in this building can go back in, it's like 10 minutes till, and you're trying to, figure out your time sheets and all that stuff. But at least the weather was good and stuff. It wasn't raining or anything like that, so that wasn't so bad. And this is not near as good. I bought some Founders Porter. I had never bought it before. I've eyeballed it several times. It's like, I'm thinking about buying you, but I never have. I bought the Red's Rye PA. Ugh. Boy, I've drank the Red's Rye PA. Stop it! I don't know if he's got dry skin or what the hell his problem is, but you hear this in the middle of the night, drives you ape shit. Now you better lay down. Stay there. But the Red's Rye PA, I've had that, and the KBS, I've had that. Oh, very expensive. And there was another one that I had. This, I'm going to say Centennial IPA, but I don't know if that's Founders or not. I've had like 3 of the Founders beer, but I had always eyeballed the porter, but I never picked it up, and then I actually did the other night while we were at Walmart, and that's really good beer. Much better than this cheap ass shit that people that have no life drink. But you know what? It was time for a rant, and what better time to be a genuine jackwad than when you're drinking malt liquor, because it kind of seems to go hand in hand, It's like being a pain in the ass and a generally very unpleasant person. I don't know if it's like if the continued consumption of this shit turns you into a shithead or what it is. But it seems like somebody keeps saying that I'm a stalker or whatever, and it's like, I don't think I've made, the whole time I've been on YouTube, maybe 4 videos about Monkey Boy, Midget Man, Willy Wonka, wannabe Oompa Loompa. This last week he's made like 3 or 4 about my camper. And yes, the camper is in the shop. And the reason it's in the shop is because it has, when you have the bunk ends that fall down, it's got, fold down on each end of the camper. There's a weather stripping that goes around there. Well, the weather stripping is getting dry rotted, and it was starting to leak. So rather than wait until we start having some real bad water damage inside of the camper, we went ahead and took it to a guy there in Florence, Missouri, which is like, probably 15 miles from here, I guess, to fix it. And he's worked on our camper before, so I mean, he's a real good guy. So anyway, so that's why it's there. And he was going to also pack the wheel bearings. I could probably have done that myself. Stop it. Stop chewing. I probably could have done it myself, but you have to jack the camper up and everything like that. And I thought, I'm not going to dick with it. It's already there, so let somebody else do it. And you have to pull like the rings and stuff out from around the hub, and it's like, nah, I ain't doing it. And when you have the money to pay for stuff that you really don't want to do, I don't have a problem doing that. You know, it's like changing the oil in the car. Yeah, I could change the oil in the car. It's like big whoopee. I could do a lot of things, but with that kind of stuff, And I'm independently wealthy enough that I don't have to do it myself. A lot of the stuff that I do myself, it's because I want to learn. It's not because of necessity. It's not because we don't have the money to do it, because we do. Because we're independently wealthy. I just work for fun. Am I going to get all this drink? I might. While I'm ranting and raving and stuff, this is going to be a really long video. I've made any videos for a while. Well, that one that night I was smoking some salmon, which when I read the recipe, you know, it's like I should have wrote the whole entire thing down. I did write the recipe part down, but as far as how long to actually soak the salmon, I went back and looked, and it was like getting conflicting information. Oh, Ralph. So I did it according to what I was reading on the website, and I shouldn't have. I should have remembered how I had done it before, but it ended up way too salty. So I'll probably end up buying a package of salmon and doing it again. But for the size fillets, I soaked it for 2 hours, which I thought when I did it, I thought, this is way too damn long. I don't remember ever soaking it this long before. And it should have been more like 30 minutes to 45 tops. So it's way too salty, so I'll probably end up pitching it. But oh well. Live and learn. But they say that smoked catfish is really good, so I'm going to try to find somebody. Linda's nephew goes catfish fishing. He runs trot lines and stuff. He goes fishing a lot, so I may see if I can't get some catfish from him and try just to see. But they said that's really, really good. I've also heard that smoked carp is supposed to be really good, but I've heard that a lot of people actually can that, so I don't know. I'm just rambling on because I'm getting a little bit of a buzz off of this because I haven't had anything to eat since like 12. So, I was planning, and we were wanting to go to a haunted house. My brother-in-law's nephew is putting on a haunted house. Him and some friends or whatever, quite a few people I guess, are putting on a haunted house in California. Things didn't quite work out, so we'll probably be going this next weekend when it's supposed to rain. Go figure. So anyway, hopefully go to that. And like I had said the other day in my video, I was planning on getting back out to the cemetery, just have to find the time. I did buy the string trimmer that I said Jimmy's dead or whatever. I made the video. We found another string trimmer and stuff, but this is actually a Swisher, so it does have a Briggs & Stratton engine on it, so it's a good engine. I won't have anything with another cheap ass, and thank God we didn't pay for that string trimmer. I won't have another thing with a cheap ass knockoff engine on it, or a Tecumseh. I remember when my dad used to have a tiller that had a Tecumseh engine on it. Oh my God, he hated that thing. It's like he would pull and pull and pull and pull, and the damn thing would never start. It's like, my dad was a sailor, and you knew it when he started off on one of his rants. God damn Tecumseh engine, I should have known better than about that goddamn son of a bitch. So I apologize for my foul mouth, but it was actually kind of funny. He would pull until he was like beet red in the face, and I mean he would be so damn mad, and he swore to God he'd never have anything with a Tecumseh engine on it again. So I generally, anytime I buy anything, I try to absolutely make sure that it does have a Briggs & Stratton engine on it, which this one does. I think it's a 6.5 horsepower, but it's a Swisher string trimmer, one of the walk behind ones and stuff, the big ones. So I did go ahead and buy that. I think it was like $250 I think I paid for that, which normally if you buy them new they're like $300 and some odd dollars, and this one looked like it had only been like used like once or twice. So I thought, well shit, I can't beat that. So it works pretty good as long as you don't get up against a metal shed and, you know, like try to run the string into the metal, because that kind of chews through the string pretty quick. Don't ask me how I know. So we'll probably be going back out there to the cemetery sometime soon. But we did go out there, and I just got out of the truck and walked up there because the guy that owns the land that surrounds that actually has cattle at the front of that. So I thought, well, I'm not going to drive the truck up there and take any chance on the gate being open and the cattle getting out. Although if you grow up on a farm, you know the first thing that you do is when you go through a gate is you shut it. But I thought, well, I only want to run up there real quick and see what it actually looks like. So I just jumped out of the truck and then, went up through the pasture and through the gate and everything to see what the part that we had cleared out looked like. And it actually looked pretty good. I was kind of surprised because the video from this spring where it shows all the lilies and stuff that we were trying to cut down, those were all dead and gone and everything. And the parts that we had cleared out with the from the brush and all that stuff actually looked pretty good. So there may be hope yet. Hopefully, I would dearly love to get out there and clean it up and everything, but really, ideally, to have some help would be great. A team of about 10 to 15 people would be awesome. Is it going to happen? Probably not. If the cemetery were somewhere where it was probably going to be seen by the public, I could probably say that I could probably get some help with it, but it's out in the country and nobody's really going to see it. So mainly cleaning this thing up is more for me because I actually do have family that's buried there. It's more for my sake than anybody else that might see it. Because if you really think about it, it's really kind of sad that people are they're buried there and basically forgotten. It's like, and these are the people and stuff, these are like our ancestors. These are people that, because of them, we are actually here, and then you just kind of forget them. Which is, to me, is really kind of sad and disrespectful. But, I realize people move away and things change and stuff like that. But still, I would like to get out there and get things straightened up and some things cleaned and stuff. God, this thing's gonna ramble on. If you stick with it this long, God bless you. But anyway, and I've got some stuff to try to clean up the gravestones or whatever, and it's Wet and Forget, which has been used in New Zealand for quite a few years. It's not the D2, which D2 is very expensive. It's like a biological detergent, spray that kills the moss and stuff on the tombstones and kind of cleans them. But that shit's like $42 a gallon plus shipping, because I cannot buy it locally. So probably by the time, if I were to actually purchase it, because I think the closest place that I could get it is Michigan, because I actually kind of checked into it. I think by the time I probably paid for the shipping and handling here, it'd probably be close to $60 a gallon, which is like, I have a real problem with that, And all the things that I'm doing, and I don't know if I've ever said this before, but all the things that I'm doing, like the smoker and any of the cemetery cleanup and the sinuses are driving me nuts. The cemetery cleanup and the equipment that I bought for the cemetery and all that stuff is all from money that I've earned through AdSense, my AdSense account. So any of the money that I'm getting for any of this is like the meat grinder for making the sausages and all that stuff is all money that I've earned through AdSense and from, people like you that sit here and watch the videos and everything. And that's how I pay for these things. And, it's kind of nice when you actually have the money to do this kind of thing. It's not cheap. But, you just got to do what you can do with what you have. And hopefully in the future I'll get, and I've already, basically it's like you can go to Amazon and you can put stuff in your wish list. So in my wish list so far I have a 2-ton chain hoist to actually lift the gravestones, and I have the webbing straps to wrap around them so you don't worry about damaging them or anything like that. So I have all that stuff in my wish list. I'm going to try to probably wait until after Christmas you know, so I can get my kids and everything, and sons now, I have 2 of them, their Christmas and everything. Wait till I get that bought, and then I'll think about me after that, because I'm going to have to make sure I have enough money to pay for my taxes for my AdSense earning. So, anyway, I'm just rambling on and on and on and on. Steel Warwad's an asshole, so if you've watched the video this long and stuff, you know that I'm going to say that, so. It's kind of sad the little midget, the only way he can get views is to mention other people and slam them and, you know, call them all sorts of names. Either that or take, you know, video clips from NFL football games and post it. So. This would not be my choice of beers. And yes, it's beer. You can call it malt liquor if you want to, but it's beer. It's nothing more, it's nothing less. So anyway, I gotta get a pressure cooker. I am just rambling all over the place in this video. So like I said, if you stuck with me this long, put a note down below that say, hey, I stuck it out. Because I would just like to, I'm just curious as to who's actually sticking around here. Did buy a pressure cooker and stuff, and if you haven't cooked with one of these things, oh my god. I don't know why it's taken me 30 some odd years to figure out that a pressure cooker is the shit. I mean, seriously. It's like, I soak some beans all day long. It's like, yeah, I could have put them in a crock pot. Yeah, I could have done that and let them sit. So I soaked them all day long, probably 8 hours. Put them in a crock pot. Like 15 minutes later, I had ham and beans. Or not the crock pot, I'm sorry, the pressure cooker. Put them in the pressure cooker, like 15 minutes later, I had ham and beans. They were completely done. The ham and stuff was all broken up, nice and tender, and the beans were wonderful. And some cornbread. Ooh. Talk about your comfort foods. And then I cooked, I made some chicken and dumplings. Frozen chicken breasts. 15 minutes. 15 minutes. Put the bouillon and stuff in there with the chicken breasts. Pressure cooked them at 15 pounds for 15 minutes, and the chicken breasts were just falling apart tender. It was wonderful. And a roast, I think the roast actually took a half an hour. But a beef roast with potatoes and carrots and onions and stuff like that, it's like half an hour and it was done. It's just, I mean, really, if you don't have a pressure cooker, or you have never used a pressure cooker, you really, really ought to try one. I mean, because it's like pre-microwave, and the stuff is like really, really tender. That's what we're gonna have for supper tonight. As soon as I get done ranting and doing whatever the hell it is, I do it on here. God, this is one of those like Steel Worldwide Forever videos. So I'm going to try to find some diabetic log books type things on here, and I'll print them out and fill out my mom's readings and everything. God, what a pain in the ass. For sending it in so the insurance will pay for her damn test strips. It's like I said, if you haven't started dealing with Medicare yet, it's a fucking nightmare. I'm just going to tell you right now. It's insurance. It's gotten to the point, and this is true of any insurance company. I don't care if you're working with Medicare. I don't care if you're working with Humana, Blue Cross and Blue Shield, or any of those things. Any of the decisions in your health care anymore are not decided by your physician. They're decided by the insurance company. I had a gamut of blood tests run just recently because my blood platelets were elevated up in the 400 range, which is not that big of a deal, especially since when we went back and looked at the records or whatever, and I've always run in the 400, so that's basically 400 and above is my baseline for my blood platelets. So had a test run at my regular primary care physician's office. Okay, it's showing elevated. Okay. We're going to do it again. So, another blood test in my primary care physician's office. Showing elevated again. Okay. At that point, the doctor should have looked back at my records all the way back to 2012 and realized that that is pretty much my baseline, 400 and above. So, since your baseline blood platelet count is 400 and above, 450 even more, we're going to send you to a hematologist, which is at a cancer hospital. That's where she works. She's really nice, Dr. Nyatanga. I really liked her. We're going to send you to a hematologist and she's going to run some blood tests. Okay, fine. So I go to this hematologist, 5 or 6 vials of blood later. We get the results back. Yes, it's elevated. I ran all the tests that I possibly could except for this one test. By the time I called them, the blood, they had just thrown it out. So now you're going to have to go in for another test. Okay, fine, whatever. So I go in for this other test, just some kind of mutation. Who knows what the fuck it is. Some kind of mutation and stuff where your blood clot, you have a blood clotting factor problem. So anyway, so I go in for this other test. Okay, fine. It's coming back. She says, okay, I think your baseline is 400 and above, so I'm just going to discharge you and we're not going to worry about it. We'll just tell your doctor and stuff that 400 and above is your baseline for you. That is normal. Okay, I can deal with that. I don't have a problem with that. $1,308 later, and that's not including the doctor's office. One blood test out of like the 15 they ran was $395. $395 for them to run one test on my blood. $395. Do you realize how long I have to work for $395? Because I don't make shit. So anyway, so $1,308 later, now we're having a fight with my insurance company. Oh my God. So first of all, they reject it. We're not going to pay this. Okay, fine, whatever. So then I have to get a hold of my primary care physician and say, hey, the insurance company doesn't want to pay for this because it wasn't pre-approved, even though my primary care physician is the one that referred me to this Dr. Nyatanga, who is the hematologist who did all this gamut of tests. So I call my primary care physician, and God bless Rose at Dr. Lavery's office. She's like wonderful. She called UMR, who is my insurance company. She called Capital Region Medical Center, who is the one that actually the Dr. Nyatanga is affiliated with, I suppose. Called them and everything and got the whole ball rolling or whatever to get the paperwork in order. So I called today, or went online actually and stuff, which is really pretty cool. I never checked the UMR website before, but you could actually go online and see all the tests and shit that you had done, and the physician charges and all that. It's really actually pretty cool. Whew, I got a buzz. So anyway, so I went on there and stuff and then ended up calling or whatever, but they have run it through or whatever, but I'm still going to end up paying like $600 and some odd for these tests. So for future reference, my blood platelets are 400 and above. That's just my normal baseline, which is elevated from most people, but is not anywhere near a danger zone of like 1 million. Because I know that people have been known to be up in like the millions on their blood platelets. That's when you have a real serious problem. And I did find out that my colonoscopy, I'm just going to blurt it all out there for you. Here you go. My colonoscopy was $5,707. I did look that up on the insurance company today. So, $5,707 to run a scope up my ass. Then you wonder why our insurance premiums are phenomenal. I'm thinking a little overcharged by somebody, but I went night for maybe an hour and it cost me $5,000. So, oh, swilly swill. Look, I did actually drink this whole entire freaking thing, believe it or not. After I quit dribbling on myself. That's not good beer. Ugh. I'd much rather have King Cobra. So anyway, I'm going to try to find, as my evening progresses, try to find a diabetic logbook so I can put my mother's numbers in there and hopefully get that faxed to the pharmacy and get everything straightened out. At least ways my sister did get test strips from the other pharmacy to hold us over until then. So all I know is there was a little sack there with my mommy's name on it and stuff, and I couldn't have it because it's like they needed my logs. Whatever happened to the good old days and stuff when you gave your doctor chicken for services rendered? Or if little Johnny got kicked in the head by a mule and stuff, you just gave the doctor a jug of shine. Oh, this is not good. It kind of tastes like Band-Aids. I wonder what the expiration date on this shit was. Of course I can't find it. I will say that Oldie is not my favorite. I do much prefer King Cobra. I don't even find a damn date on this shit. Probably expired 12 years ago. It does kind of taste like Band-Aid though. Oh, wait a minute. Oh! Fresh as fuck. Till January 11th, 2016. Not really. There you go, drank the whole damn thing during my rant. So anyway, I'm gonna stop blabbing now and try to get the work done that I said I was gonna do. So anyway, if you have stuck around this long to hear me blabbing and rambling and pissed off about stupid fucking Medicare, bless your little heart. So anyway, I'm gonna go now or whatever. I think I've talked enough and I need to get some shit done here. So anyway, y'all have a good weekend if I don't see you before then.